Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Growing Orchids in Jamaica. If you are visiting my channel for the first time, please subscribe so that you will see more on how I grow orchids in Jamaica. Today I am at a beautiful garden in Manchester. This garden has so much to offer. It has orchids, impatiens, just a beautiful ambience. The environment is just so appealing. So if you want to see more on what exists in this garden, why don't you stay tuned right after this intro? As promised, you have a lot to behold in this garden, this beautiful garden that is in Manchester, Jamaica. Now, today I will just introduce you to all that exists here. And it starts right here at the entrance of this beautiful home. This section has some lovely wire baskets, and in them there are epidendrum orchids on this side. They are newly planted, and so we do not have a lot of blooms right now, but the concept is just to die for. Just walk with me and you will see what exists here, and I'm sure you will enjoy. Now here we have some more, and if you can see in the background just what is right behind here, how beautiful the environment is and how lush the garden is. Now you can see in the backdrop some Vanda orchids right up there, but as we go along you will see more. On the next section, entering the garden, here you will find some other type of plants that are just incorporated. Now at the back there you will see some nice pedestal, and on them you will see some bougainvillea in at least two of them. And right behind that you will see some Vanda orchids. But these Vanda orchids were recently done over, and I'm sure as we go along you will see updates, or I will show you updates of what is happening in this beautiful garden. But just journey with me right now and enjoy what exists right here. Now this garden comprises of many different features. If you look right here, you will see some dish garden with different succulent right there. And the concept is just so beautiful, so nice. Look at that. This is a 3-tier dish garden which complements the garden pretty well. And behind that, as a backdrop, you'll see the ginger lily forming that backdrop. This is a very large garden, and I'm sure once it is really established, it is going to be a masterpiece, because it already is poised to do that. Here's another hanging basket in the background right here. This is a double, and it is just oh so beautiful. And there is another right there. The Vanda terete, this is a white. Okay, right. And this is just giving you ideas of some of the things that you can do to enhance your own garden. And that's the idea, you know, when the doctor do her visit. This area has quite a number of anthurium plants, and they are beautifully laid out. Just look how beautiful they are. And not to mention, well, we call these the old man beard, right? If you see here how meticulously and how organized this garden is, when you look at how the layout of the moss on the tree, which is actually a family of the bromeliad, but locally we called it the old man beard. And just how it is laid out, it forms this sea, or it's cascading and form this sort of waterfall look right there. And it is just really beautiful. And under that, that is where we have one section with anthuriums. And it is just really gorgeous. And to the back of that, on the wall, there is a green space or green wall behind the anthurium where it boasts a number of pots with dendrobium orchids. And the concept is really stunning and is to die for. Next to that is this Vanda Mokara bed. Here, there's this very tall cacti plant. Wow. No, that is really to die for. It's really huge. And if you look below that, you will find now this nice Vanda Mokara bed, which boasts different colors, and they are at different stages, different height, which really enhance the garden. I hope you're hearing that in the background. That wind chime. Oh, so beautiful. Let me give you a close-up of what some of these Vanda Mokara looks like. And this one, I am not seeing the ID, but nevertheless, it is gorgeous. As we go along, you will see more, a lot more to come. Now look at this stunning one all the way up in the top here. Let me try to get to that right and give you a close-up. Isn't that beautiful? Don't forget to give me a like. All right. Here is another section here with a cluster of blooms. Here you'll find red, you find pink, you find blue. And it is nestled right below the cactus and putting on really a stunning show. And you just look and you see the different levels, the different height, and that makes it really outstanding. In this home, there are various different sections with plants, and you'll find that it is dominated mainly by Vanda orchids and of course anthurium. Now this is a new bed as well, which is not fully established, but it is doing its thing and it is really beautiful. Now look at this one again, and this one has different tiers as well. To the back you will find the tall ones, and to the front you will have the lower ones, which creates this uniform effect. And in this garden, this section of the garden, you will see various ones. Just look at that. Oh, so beautiful. Wow, look at this. Isn't this stunning? Isn't this gorgeous? Don't forget to hit the like button below. As we go along, this is another bed, and this bed has in Vanda orchids as well, but it also has a lovely Renantera orchid right here. In Manchester, our elevation is high. We are over 600 feet above sea level, and so the temperature here tend to be cooler than most other parts of the island. And as a result of that, our cymbidiums do pretty well here. And right here, she has some lovely and some large pots with cymbidium orchids. Let's swap up this one. Right, so the cymbidium orchids are in this area and they are in some huge pot. But one thing I want you to note, while they're here in these huge pots, they are actually under a very huge almond tree. Now, let me see if I can get a full picture of what this almond tree looks like, just to give you an appreciation of the size of this almond tree. Under this almond tree, you will also see the old man beard, as we call it locally, and under it there are different plants. Our plants are actually in some huge pots, and that makes it beautiful. I'm going to zero in on this. So this plant that I'm zeroing on, locally we call it the light bulb plant, but I will see if I can find a scientific name for it and put it below. But it is just beautiful and it enhances the garden so well. Now look at it. Let me give you a close-up of it. Right, so this is what it actually looks like, and it is fully in bloom. In this almond tree, I told you it's really a nice huge almond tree. Look at this oncidium, but it's not in bloom now. It is actually spiking, so you can just imagine what this looks like when it is in full bloom. Isn't that gorgeous? And it is just in the center of the almond tree doing its thing up there. How beautiful. This is another tree in her yard, and she uses up the trees so well, and you have quite a bit of the old man beard or the moss cascading from them, and they are just so meticulously placed. I tell you, her garden is just to die for. And her garden pieces, look at this, so beautiful. And she uses up all the spaces under her trees. Here again, where she repurposed an old bath, and it is actually filled with anthurium of all different kinds, all different colors, all different shapes. So if you notice right here how beautiful the scene is in front of the Norfolk pine tree. Isn't that a beautiful sight to behold? Isn't that the garden that we all dream about and would love to have? Really beautiful. All right, now, you know, in all my videos, I have a star area. And for me, this is my star area in this one. Now look at this wall. How beautiful it is. It's a green wall or a green space, a wall that is completely decked with plants. Now, on this wall, you will find lots of pots of impatient plants. And of course, below it, there are some anthuriums. And above it, there are some bougainvilleas. Now look at it. Let me see if I can zoom out so that you can see exactly how beautiful this wall actually is. Isn't that a beauty, guys? All right, under the almond tree. This almond tree needs a name because this almond tree is like an heirloom because of how large it is and how it is decked out. This area under the almond tree, I'm sure, was decorated for Christmas with all these poinsettias. And what you see here, these are hanging. And what they do, they actually use steel to anchor them to the almond tree. So under the almond tree, there are a number of metal plant pot holders that are affixed to the tree, and then the pots are placed in them, and it creates this beautiful array of plants, or this beauty right under the almond tree. Look at that. This is such a Christmas beauty. Now look. Let me give you a glance from this angle. Just so beautiful. Right under the almond tree in this beautiful garden in Mandeville, Manchester. This is another area, an anthurium haven. Right here, a number of anthuriums are placed on pedestals in clay pots and at different levels to create that beautiful layout. And just look how gorgeous that is. All right, this section here, let me start from right here, is actually her back patio. Where there is this little water feature, seem like a fall, but it's not in motion right now, and it is just beautiful. All right, so this area is where you can entertain, and of course, just about anywhere in the yard you go, there are just some beautiful gardens. This is another newly set up Vanda bed right here, and the garden features, the garden pieces are really just so beautiful. Wow. All right, so let me just show you this section in the back, and here we are going closer to the area where the succulent plants are. I'm going to show you another display here of her succulent garden right here, and right beside it is another newly established Vanda bed. And I can just imagine what this is going to look like. But even though there aren't a lot of blooms right now, but the layout by itself is just so awesome. All right. There are some beautiful succulent plants right here in the beds, and they are oh so beautiful. Just look at that. And this one in particular is really unusual. Just look at how awesome this is. And I'm going to show you her other section right here with some other succulents that are set up. This section, it houses some other Vanda beds and of course some dendrobium orchids right here. And everywhere you turn in this home, you will see orchids, orchids, orchids. And you know, a garden is not complete without some form of animal. And here is the African grey. To complement her garden and her back patio, this is one of those old Caledonia stove, which is really a nice feature within her garden or within her home. And the three-legged cast iron pots, really spectacular. This is a very large three-legged pot, and of course, you know, we prize our three-legged pots in Jamaica because you no longer get these to buy. So these are really valuable items when we have them in our possession and in our homes. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And so you never miss another video, please subscribe to my channel. And as we say in Jamaica, just follow back on me, because this is the Orchid Doc, and I am growing orchids in Manchester, Jamaica.